We got TJ Lang in studio, and we're talking football. Just not Lions football. TJ, what was this weekend like for you?
The first game kind of went how I thought it was. I mean, had a feeling Philly was going to come out on fire. You know, anytime that, you know, you're probably thinking last week, oh, man, we got to go on the road for the NFC Championship game, and then Detroit loses. That gives you some momentum and obviously, you know, a pretty good rush that you get to play at home for the NFC Championship game. So that game kind of went the way I thought it was going to. And, yeah, I heard you guys talking a little bit like that was the blueprint. You know what I mean? Like I still come out of that game against Washington in Detroit. I can't believe Jahmyr Gibbs only got 17 carries. You know what I mean? Like I know Montgomery was back. I know you wanted to get him involved and like get the crowd going, but Jahmyr Gibbs had 17 carries against that defense. You know, it's just like, oh my gosh, like that was the blueprint. Like you didn't have to overthink it. You know what I mean?
14 carries.
14 carries.
Even worse.
Okay, yeah, make myself feel even worse. Yeah, and I think it was 7 for Montgomery, right? But 14 carries. Yeah, that's what it was.
Not enough is the answer.
That was just, getting cute and, you know, the trick plays. I mean, there's a time and place for, you know, some of them. That type of game, like just line up and just prove that you're the better team, right? But Washington played better. I mean, you can't play a C- game in the playoffs and expect to just go beat anybody, right? And that's what the Lions did. And it was unfortunate. It sucked watching yesterday. But also watching yesterday, the way Philly played, like –
kind of felt like that would have been in the end of the line
maybe.
Anyway.
I mean, if you're out there, you're down your top 2 defensive linemen, you're down your top 2 corners.
Yeah.
Meek Robertson, Carlton Davis against that offense. I mean, if Philly obviously came in and played that way, like I think we're having a
could they have stopped the run against Saquon?
Yeah, but would I like to see it, you know, actually witness it and watch the game? Yeah, because I think the Lions offense, you know, if they were coming off a slumpy game, could have turned it around. And then the Buffalo game. I mean, look, there were obviously a couple calls in there that last couple weeks have been, you know, Mahomes and getting all the calls and a couple questionable ones, but you still look at that. I mean, Josh Allen had the ball down 3 with 3 minutes left. You know what I mean? And couldn't get it done. So I thought that 4th and 1 was odd because you never got you didn't get a signal. They didn't make a call. They just both referees did not make a call. And then they said, we're going to go review it. Like you can't. You got to either say, hey, he's short, and then we're going to go review it, or it's a first down, and then we're going to go review it. You can't just not make a call and just say, oh, we don't know. Like, we got to go take a look. I think you have to make a call because here's what it does. It forces one of the teams to now challenge. And it also, let's say the first line judge that came in from the far side clearly had it marked as a first down. For whatever reason, he didn't mark first down. If you say first down, now you're making Kansas City challenge it. And whatever way you call it is probably going to be – you're probably not going to be able to overturn it.
Too close.
But that was just odd to me that it looked like they initially gave him the first down and then just said, oh, we don't know. Like, we're not even going to make a call. We're just going to go review. I don't think I've ever seen that before in football. I think I've usually you see it where, hey, he's short, but we're going to take a look, or hey, it's a first down, but hey, Kansas City now can challenge. That was just odd to me.
Well, and it fuels conspiracy theories, which we've been dealing with today. Speaking of things you've never seen before, had you heard of palpably unfair? The Eagles trying to punch it in the red zone, and the Commanders jumping off sides 4 straight times, and the ref coming in going, hey, enough's enough. We're going to award a touchdown.
Yeah.
Had you ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, stop those shenanigans or we're going to give them a touchdown.
No, he did. The ref did. We're going to turn this car around. Greg, can we play the audio for people? I've never heard this before in an NFL game.
Wait till your dad gets home. I'm turning this car around. Yes, you've been advised.
Knock it off.
Yeah, you knock it off or we're going to give them a touchdown. Yes. You knock it off or there's no pizza tonight.
I somehow missed that during the game. I'm going to have to go back and watch that.
They were jumping over the pile.
Yeah, they were trying to prevent the tush push.
Okay.
And it was half the distance. And then TJ, they just ran out of inches.
Yeah.
There's no more inches to give there.
What's the thought process there? You're just hoping they're not going to call it?
Oh, no, you're trying to – so they're trying to stop the tush push.
Right.
So they're trying to jump the count.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. They're not. They weren't intentionally just like, hey, we're going to line up and Okay,
oh, no,
I gotta,
yeah. I'm going to touch you so that it's a penalty.
I missed a couple of the plays because I was, cooking some ribs yesterday. I was in and out of the house, but I got to go back and watch
How'd they turn out?
They were good. Yeah, it was good. I made a brisket.
No,
salad,
yeah. So they're trying to stop the tush push.
Okay, gotcha. And they were just going early.
Right, yeah. It's
how
that
many
theory
times
of
4 times.
4 times in a row?
Yeah, so they're – well, I mean, what did it start with, too? It started with a yard away.
Yeah.
And so then it's a half yard. And then it's, less than a foot. And then it's literally they could not move the ball up any closer because it kept going half the distance. And if you're sitting there going, I'm going to risk it and try and time the snap, and Philly knew it, I don't even think they were going to run a play. They literally may have just called timeout with a second left on the play clock, thinking that, this is just going to keep happening.
Just let them keep –
Yeah,
from the ref standpoint,
half the distance. There's no more half the distance.
We got to play football at some point here, boys. Either you're going to let them snap the ball, or we're just going to give them the touchdown.
I got to go back and watch.
You do.
And they were all on Luvu.
They're all Luvu.
He had like 4 or 5 yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he timed it up once and actually hit it at the snap, made a big play in the backfield.
Yeah.
And that's what Philly said, okay.
Yeah.
We know what you're doing.
Oh, man. Yeah, that Lions law. Yeah, gosh. And I – Rico argued. John, I want to get your perspective. Which one was more devastating, do you think? This year's loss or last year's loss?
I'll probably go to last year's loss.
Yeah, me too.
Because you were 30 minutes away from going to the Super Bowl with a 17-point lead.
Okay, thank you. I think we can all agree that, me and you can at least. Rico tried to argue with me, but that was more devastating.
That's strange. I mean, what side did Mike take? Because that would tell me which side Rico was going to take.
I think Mike just was listening to what I was saying, but I think Mike agreed with me. But that was my argument. He's like, but nobody expected. I'm like, it doesn't matter. You have a 3-score lead in the NFC Championship.
Right.
30 minutes away. You're like, oh my God, it's real, guys.
Yeah, you start pitching yourself. Is this really happening?
I mean, this year
it hurts.
Obviously, it's devastating because the season that you had and the 1 seed and having the opportunity to have everything go through, Detroit. But as a player, there's still part of you, though, that's like, man, we just didn't have a good game, right?
Yeah.
We just played a bad game, and a team came in and played good, and we lost. It doesn't make it any easier,
right.
But that loss last year is one that I think is going to haunt them more than
way more.
this year.
Yeah, because you were literally on the doorstep.
So I think the NFC title game will haunt you longer. But I understand in the moment feeling worse about what happened this year.
In the moment, there's a lot of losses where you'd be like, oh, this one hurts so much. And then, 2 or 3 days later, you're like, all right, it hurts that we lost, but not nearly as much as last year.
I just mean the buildup. The buildup, thinking you're going to the Super Bowl lasted for about an hour the year before. Thinking you were going to the Super Bowl lasted months this season, right? I mean, financial investment, emotional investment, going to the game, believing you're going to the Super Bowl, losing to an inferior team, not even getting a chance to host the NFC title game, wasting a 15-win season, the best in franchise history.
Who are you saying, though, for months thinking going to the Super Bowl? Are you talking from like a fan's perspective?
Fans. Yeah, fans had conditioned themselves to believe Super Bowl for a much longer amount of time than a halftime at the Super Bowl.
I also got to I mean, there's no problem. There's no problem having an expectation that your team should do that. But if we're going into every season and we're going to the Super Bowl, no matter what, like that is, we got to take a step back.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Like future.
Why was it take a step back? They were in the NFC title.
No, because sometimes, Jim, and you do it too, sometimes you act like it's just so easy. Like, hey, we got the best team. Let's just go win the Super Bowl. Yay. Like, it doesn't work like that. We saw clearly this year.
Of course.
And I think that's from the player's perspective too, that last year it felt like it got ripped out of your hands. You know what I mean? It felt like 17 points. It felt like it got ripped out of your hands.
There.
And some of the plays, right? Some of the weird drops, a weird ball bouncing off a dude's face. Like, it just felt like it got ripped away from you.
A fumble.
Part of you this year is like, we didn't earn it, right? Like, that's still part of this game. We can't go out there and just expect to put the helmet on and, hey, man, we won 15 games this year, and let's go, right? And start the game sloppy or, try to get cute or get out of who you are. Like, there's part of you that you didn't earn it. You didn't do anything to win that game.
I don't disagree with that. I just think
when it gets ripped away from you, those are the ones that are devastating. And I'm with you. Like, the expectations are fine.
Okay.
I just think it's part of, like, Super Bowl or everything's a failure. We wasted all our time. Like, I don't like that. Oh, I just don't like that mentality.
But
sometimes.
that's upper echelon. That's rarefied air.
And this is the argument that we had last week.
Yeah, but have the Lions earned that?
I think they did.
The argument we had last week is
that?
I'm willing to say that this season was a failure because I felt like they should have been in the Super Bowl. And when you get there, right, you're going to have to play the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens. That was going to be the competition. We know how they matched up with the Bills at home.
Yeah.
But to say the season was a waste, like, I can't go there.
No.
I can't say it was a waste, because if we look 5 years down the road and they haven't learned from the NFC Championship that they lost in San Francisco, the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, like, what did they learn from that game? What did they learn from that season? What did you learn from this season? Even though you were 15-2, you got the 1 seed, you still lost in the divisional round.
Yeah.
What did you learn from this season? Yeah. And if you tell me 5 years down the road that you didn't use this for anything, then I can say it's a waste.
Yeah.
Right now, I can't say that.
There's going to be a time and place we look back.
Yeah.
Obviously, the body still feels cold, especially after watching yesterday. But there'll be a time and place that you look back. And, John, hopefully they do learn some of those lessons, right?